What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Thank you very much for joining me here on Pretty Dece, your daily entertainment and pop culture podcast. Happy you're here, whether you are listening on the Anchor app, whether you are listening in podcast form, or if you are checking out the video version on YouTube, which you can find by searching for Pretty Dece on YouTube. Now, let's jump into some video game news because the game Injustice 2 is getting some new characters. This has happened a couple times since release. They've done a really good job of supporting Injustice 2, putting out character packs, adding to the game. And the most recent character pack that they're adding, the Fighter Pack 3 here, is pretty wild who they're adding. They are going to be adding the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the game, which I am really, really excited about. So this is pretty crazy. Of course, Injustice 2 is a game about superheroes fighting each other. So, DC superheroes specifically. So adding the Ninja Turtles to it is definitely out of left field. It's very weird. But I'm super into it. I'm super into seeing how they fit in with a game about superheroes fighting and how their fighting style and their look and their art style all merges in with the rest of the game. I'm definitely going to be checking this out when these guys release. This is crazy for a couple other reasons as well. First of all, the Turtles haven't been in a fighting game since the 90s, despite the fact that they lend themselves very well to a fighting game, being that they are ninjas. They haven't been included in one. There hasn't been a TMNT fighting game since a game, the Tournament Fighters, which came out on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis and came out for arcades. That game was very good, but it's been a long time since we've seen them in a fighting game, and of course this is going to be the first 3D fighter that we've seen from the Turtles. And, again, just being included in a game with superheroes is going to be pretty weird. The only thing that I really regret is that we don't get them mixed into the story mode because they are just DLC characters. I would have loved to see in the, kind of serious story mode of Injustice 2, for some reason, the Ninja Turtles show up. That would have been fantastic. The inclusion of the Turtles is also kind of weird here because it appears from the trailer and from a little bit of stuff that's been hinted here and there that they're going to fight as a single character. So you're not going to pick a single turtle to play as. You're going to pick to play as the Turtles, and then I'm assuming there will be some sort of like swap in and out mechanic to switch which turtle you are currently controlling. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. Nonetheless, that's kind of a big departure for Injustice 2. There aren't really any fighters that work like that right now. There's no one that fights as a team. That's much more like a Marvel versus Capcom, like a tag mechanic almost. So it'll be very cool to kind of see how that works, to see like how the hot swapping works for characters that quickly, whether you can like do it in the middle of like a combo or something. Like, who knows? The fact that they say that they fight as a team in the trailer, that could really be anything. So who knows how that's gonna go. But overall, Injustice is really sweet. If you have not played Injustice 2 and you are a superhero fan, you definitely have to check out Injustice 2. The Ultimate Edition is coming out very soon and will include the Turtles and all of the characters that have been released so far. Even if you're not a big fighting game person, the story mode in Injustice 2 is worth playing just if you are a superhero fan or a DC Comics fan. You don't have to be good at fighting games. You can set it to a difficulty that is manageable. There's nothing that's too hard that they throw at you, and you get to experience a really cool, really original story. Like they actually write a really good story around a fighting game. That's something that they've done a really good job with the Injustice games doing. They're really fun to play, even if you aren't necessarily amazing at fighting games. So definitely check it out, and I'm gonna be checking it out because the Turtles sound super, super fun to play. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure you like Pretty Dece on Facebook at facebook.com/PrettyDeceShow. Of course, follow me on Twitter at PrettyDeceShow and visit PrettyDeceShow.com. We'll be back tomorrow, as always, for another daily episode, but make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode at all. Thanks.